Wait, before you settle in, tell me where you're watching from and who your most loyal companion is. Seriously, pause for a second. Is it your dog? Your sibling? Someone you've always counted on? Type it below, because this story is about what happens when loyalty gets tested in ways no one expects. Every night, the veteran rocked slowly in his creaky chair, counting stars and memories in the deep blue silence. His house sat on the edge of town, where loneliness drifted in with the evening mist, but he was never truly alone. Rusty, his old German shepherd mix, slept curled at his feet, breathing in sync with the old man's thoughts. For years, this routine never broke. Man and dog, side by side, holding back the world. People in the neighborhood called them inseparable. Some waved from the sidewalk, others just glanced over and smiled, warmed by the simple image of devotion. But no one really knew what happened behind closed doors, how the veteran would talk to Rusty late at night, whispering secrets, sometimes just sitting together in the dark when sleep wouldn't come. Rusty always listened. He never judged. But one morning, everything changed. The veteran woke to an odd stillness. No soft snoring at his feet, no warm fur brushing against his ankle. For the first time in years, the chair rocked empty. Heart pounding, he stood up and called out, "Rusty." No answer. That silence felt heavy, a kind of fear that digs deep and won't let go. Suddenly, from the hallway, came a strange sound, almost like scratching, but softer, mixed with a faint whine. The veteran hurried, following the noise. And there, by the back door, was Rusty. But he wasn't alone. He was pawing at the glass, tail stiff, body tense, staring outside like he'd seen a ghost. The veteran opened the door. That's when he noticed muddy paw prints leading down the steps, across the yard, and straight to the old shed-out back. Rusty bolted, barking urgently. Not his usual lazy bark, but sharp and worried, as if calling the veteran to follow. Pause for a moment. If you've ever had a pet act out of character, you know that feeling, right? That sense that something's just off? Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced something like this. I promise, you're not alone. He followed Rusty to the shed. The old dog began digging at the corner, whining with desperate energy. The veteran knelt down, heart racing. He brushed aside the loose dirt, and there it was. A small, weathered box, buried just beneath the surface. With shaking hands, he opened it. Inside was a faded photograph, a young soldier in uniform, grinning proudly, with a dog that looked just like Rusty beside him. Next to it, a rusted dog tag and a letter, edges yellowed with time. The veteran's breath caught. The name on the dog tag was his own. The letter was written in his handwriting, addressed to himself, from a time he could barely remember. It was a note he'd written during the war, a promise that if he ever made it home, he'd never forget the friends, human and canine, who saved his life. Tears stung his eyes as he read the words. In that instant, everything clicked. Rusty wasn't just a companion. He was a living link to a promise made decades before. The dog had found what the veteran had buried and forgotten, as if he'd carried the memory for both of them all these years. Rusty pressed close, leaning into his side, and the veteran wrapped his arms around him. "You didn't let me forget," he whispered. "Even when I tried to." The dog's tail thumped, slow and steady, as if to say, "I kept my promise too." From that day, everything changed. The old man felt lighter. He shared his story with the neighbors, showed them the photograph, and told them about the promise he'd kept, thanks to a loyal friend who never gave up. And for the first time in a long time, the porch didn't feel so lonely. So if you're watching this and you're wondering why you keep holding on, remember, loyalty can outlast even memory. Sometimes the friend at your feet is holding a secret just for you. Stay with us for more stories about the kind of love that never leaves, even when you think you've forgotten. And hey, don't forget to subscribe and share your own story below. Who's the Rusty in your life? Because sometimes the best twists are the ones waiting right outside your door.